Today, we're breaking down Celsius, the popular energy drink. Really excited to break into this. It's a really fast growing brand. I actually have some Celsius right here. As always, I have gone through their funnel. I as of all funnels, I go and I order their products through their site or through another channel, and I document everything. And I break it all down. I go through their traffic. I audit their site. Also share just other general opinions about the brand. So let's dive in. I think there's just some I think before we do this, and we talked about it in our Why Brands Work sort of episode on Celsius. What makes it such an interesting brand? I mean, first off, it is a $1 billion company. All right, they are a publicly traded company. So, I was able to go through their annual reports and stuff and really was able to understand more about their business. So, yeah, they do about, currently it's a $10 billion market cap. I'm filming this in July of 2024. Actually, 3 months ago, it was a $20 billion market cap. Their stock has come down a lot because their sales velocity grew. And their sales are crazy. They grew 37%. Or they're forecasting 37%. And that caused their sales to drop because before that, it was growing over 100%, like quarter over quarter. So, I mean, just crazy sales growth. And that's why you've seen this stock really rise over the past 5 years. I mean, speaking of it, I think that I forget the revenue we had forecasted or where they had gone from. Okay, I got the stats right here. I broke it down on LinkedIn, but they had gone from, what was it? In the past 5 years, 75 million to $1.2 billion in sales. That's crazy. I haven't seen anybody grow this fast. I mean, we saw Stanley, the Stanley Cup brand. They went from about 70-ish million to like a 750 million, and we thought that was crazy. These guys literally 10x and more than that in the past 5 years. I'm going to get into it. There's just some crazy interesting things about this brand. I mean, first off, they're the number one selling energy drink on Amazon. But they only have 11% share of the total energy market. If you think about it, Monster Energy has 28%, Red Bull has 36%, but they're the number one seller on Amazon. Really interesting. Also, another interesting stat is that while they are the number one seller on Amazon, that only accounts for 7% of the revenue. Actually, another 12% of the revenue, a channel that is actually outperforming it, is their Costco business, and I'll get into that. So that's interesting. I mean, there's just so many things to unpack. I think another real thing before I dive in here that's interesting is that, and we talked about this in the positioning in the brand, and I think this is really why they're growing so much. Because again, they are the number one. They are the fastest growing. While they don't have market share, they are the fastest growing energy drink brand in the category. And I think if you look at the branding here, it is Live Fit. It's very sort of unisex, gender neutral. It's all about a healthy lifestyle. And that's juxtaposed against all the other market leaders. Like if you think about it, Red Bull is about, that brand is more about, it gives you wings. It's about extreme sports. So it's more masculine. Monster Energy is even more masculine than that. It's more punk. It's more edgy. It's more like skateboarding. So, but with Celsius, because it's like Live Fit, it attracts more females, to be honest with you. And it's like 50% split between male and female. Well, I think some of the other brands are more like 80-20 male. So really, really interesting. But yeah, just some crazy interesting stats about this company. But yeah, let's jump into the actual funnel and the actual audit. I'll start with the audit, and what's crazy too is they're not really doing much here. So they're doing about 500,000 visits a month. All right, and I have it all pulled up here in SimilarWeb. They're doing about 500,000 visits a month. Sometimes it's 400,000. In June, it spiked to over 600,000. So I'm just sort of pegging them there. US is the top sort of country. The top channel is just organic. If you combine direct and organic, it's like 80%, basically, even more than that. and people are just searching like Celsius energy drink. They do some paid search. But I can't get it to pop up. Like if I go into private browsing and I just type in Celsius flavors, for example, this is one of their keywords. Okay, they are doing some paid search here, but that's really it. And then all of the Google shopping is done through Amazon or I think I saw Walmart and Target. So they do a little bit of branded keyword search, but they're not even doing it. Like here we go. If you search Celsius energy drink, I'm sure a lot of people misspell Celsius. They're not really doing any of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, you can see it's like Celsius drink, that's really it. Is mostly coming in organic. It's mostly coming to the homepage. They do have this page that gets a little bit of traffic, but it is mostly just coming to the homepage. They do some Facebook ads, and I've linked to them here, and you can check them out. And I'm not sure how much traffic this is driving. I don't think it's a lot, but so they are putting a little bit of budget into this. They do some celebrity sponsorships too. Like I know at the time of doing this, like they have Jake Paul, they have Charles Leclerc. I think his name's an F1 driver. I think this is the one. So they are doing some very like top of funnel sort of stuff. But it is very, very, there's nothing really crazy here. And, just touching base, just closing out on their traffic. Another thing that stood out, I do think they get a lot of traffic from just people that want to invest in the brand. So this is like this is their site that, for investor relations, and that's their top referring site. And as you can see, referrals are driving, about 3% of the traffic. Also, a lot of people that are interested in investing are coming here. So that's interesting. And another thing, I couldn't really figure this out, but their top social channel is YouTube. When you look at it, they are driving about 5% of their traffic from social, but I couldn't really replicate that because they only have one YouTube video. So maybe people are talking about it on YouTube. Maybe like, I know there's a lot of like, if you just search Celsius, there's a lot of investment videos on it. So it could be that, but yeah, I mean, there's really nothing crazy here they're doing with their traffic. What's even crazier is when you start breaking down and looking at the site, like what the apps they're using and stuff like that. I mean, I've pegged them basically. If you go to their site, it's just Celsius.com. I think this is a WordPress site. And the tell here was like, I figured out that on their ambassador program, they're using, I think this is, you can apply here. It's not popping up for me, I think, because I already did it, but you can apply here, and it is it's a Gravity form, which is a WordPress plugin. I think they're also, if you do built with, they're also, so there's Gravity forms popped up. Yoast plugins. This is a popular SEO plugin for WordPress. So this is just a WordPress site. Pretty wild. Also, they're using WP Engine as the host. That popped up. I'm always interested in what these sort of big multi-channel brands are doing that aren't really driving a lot of D2C sales, and I'm gonna talk about that in a second, because they're actually not collecting payments on this site. They send them to the Amazon channel, and the trade-off to doing that, as you can see, like once we sort of break it down, is they're not doing anything here. No email capture, no live chat, no exit intent, cart upsell, checkout upsell, SMS opt-in, one-click upsell, abandoned checkout flow, welcome flow, browse abandonment flow. None of that is going on. And because they're sending all their traffic to Amazon, which I'll go through in a second, There's no surveying, shipping notification emails. There's no newsletters. There's no post-purchase flow, win-back flow. They're just doing nothing here on the back end, which is interesting. But yeah, let's just close out here. Like I said, I'm interested in some of the tools that they use here. So they're using this tool called @Data. Never heard of them. So I was looking at that. @Data. This is I don't know if this is some sort of I don't know what this is, an email validity tool, or it's like a retention.com. But integrated where you get the email data you need, where you need it, we already integrate. So that's really interesting. But they're working with a lot of big brands. Secure, fast, and accurate email-centric data solutions. The email address expert. So I'm wondering if this is sort of email verification type software, fraud prevention, but it's interesting because they're not collecting any payments on their site. So they're not collecting any email addresses. So I'm like, I'm just wondering what this tool actually is, or why they need it. They use another tool called LiveRamp, another huge enterprise sort of platform. I've heard of this, but I'm not totally. I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I think it's like an enterprise data tool. And I was sort of looking at, okay, what are the solutions for CPG, the niche that they're in? CPG brands to deliver timely and relevant experiences across multiple touch points to create lasting loyalty. I'm guessing this is a platform for when you are a brand like this, where you have such a huge retail distribution that I'm going to break down, an Amazon business, a Costco business. It's like you need to be able to collect data and get actionable insights across channel for multi-channel brands. So I'm guessing that's what this is. But again, they're just missing low-hanging fruit here. I'm trying not to be critical, but they're just missing low-hanging fruit here because they don't do anything to capture the email address. There is no capture. There's cookie settings, that there's this ambassador funnel that I'll go through, but yeah, there's nothing here that really captures people. Get Alone collects even more granular data, like purchase data and stuff like that. So very interesting. Some of the tools they're using here. Another tool that I had never heard of, which was interesting, Micmac, because I'm always interested. Okay, what do these large scaled up brands use? So I guess this provides enablement and analytics software for multi-channel brands to convert global customers. And I guess, these are some massive clients, huge enterprise clients: Unilever, Hasbro, Kellogg's, Mars Bars, Heineken. A lot of these brands, they don't sell online. They will, if you go to Campbell's Foods, for example, we'll just pull this up. I'm always interested in what these brands are doing. Explore products. So let's say it's the Chunky Soups, CL Soups. It looks like an e-commerce site, and then it's where to buy. And then, they're sending me to a store locator page. And this is another tool I've noticed they're using. They're using this Destiny store locator tool. Let's see. So they're using this app too. This is where a lot of I've seen a couple big omni-channel brands use this. So yeah, it's another tool they're using. But I guess this allows these brands, and I think the reason they do that is, maybe it gives them more leverage with their retail partners. But I'm not totally sure. But because I'm always interested in these people, these big, huge, massive brands that aren't collecting a lot of zero-party data, how are they getting this data? And maybe it's through apps like this and @Data. So very interesting to see. But yeah, other than that, it's a basic WordPress site. So that's the basic audit. Let's jump into the funnel here. There's not much to go through here, but I'll sort of break it down. Again, I've gone through their traffic. 500,000 visitors a month, let's just say, mostly organic. mostly going to the site, but also driving a lot of traffic to their retail partners. And I'll start with this channel first. I mean, I think that they do, and you'll see a lot of brands do this. They'll have a where to buy with that Destiny sort of tool that I showed, and so they are driving people here to this store locator page, and they are going here, and that can fuel some of this channel. But I think overwhelmingly, like where, and we talked about this in the Why Brands Work episode, where they are getting most of their revenues through their PepsiCo deal that they signed in 2022. So in 2022, Pepsi invested $550 million into the brand. So not only are they invested in it, but that was also a distribution deal. And so now Pepsi is distributing this drink all over the place. And it's accounting for 60% of their revenue. So it's about 59.4%. So we'll just say it's 60. And they have, last year they did about $1.32 billion in sales. So this Pepsi distribution deal is worth over $600 million in revenue to them. And you can look at their distribution. I mean, they have it's really interesting what they're doing here. I want to break it down a little bit. We talked about Amazon, and you can go in and see them at places like Target and Sprouts and convenience stores too. I think what's interesting about Celsius and sort of the positioning behind it is that, first off, they are positioned in fitness. They really position themselves through fitness and healthy lifestyle, living fit. This is not what the other energy brands are doing. Like I said, the market leader, Red Bull, is mostly around extreme sports. Monster is more around like music and punk rock, and they're both more masculine. In my local gym, you have the Celsius drinks right next to the protein drinks, which you don't see. You don't see Monster and Red Bull right next to protein at the gym. So they do have this channel. And this is sort of the original distribution that they had before their Pepsi channel. So this is a very interesting positioning play and very interesting to their distribution. And then apparently in some of the conventional grocery stores, some of the pharmacies, what's interesting too, is they are not positioned in the soda aisle or the actual energy drink aisle. If there's an energy drink aisle, they're not necessarily placed right next to them. They're actually placed in like the vitamin aisle or in the pharmacy section. So again, it's really interesting positioning. Again, they have distribution in places like GNC and stuff like that. So it's really cool to see them kind of do it like that. And it's a different way. And we talked about it. Brian broke it down on the brand, and they have these like sort of refrigerators on the end caps. Let me see if I can find one. Celsius end cap in pharmacy. Let me see Celsius, if we can get a picture of it. If you don't know what the end cap is, that's like the it's like this section here. It's the end of an aisle. Celsius drink end cap. I don't know if we're going to be able to find a picture of it, but apparently, I wasn't able to find this in my own market, but they'll have refrigerators on end caps in the pharmacy aisle at some of these channels. So it's just a way to differentiate themselves against some of the other competitors. So that's their first channel. I'm going to go by channel because again, we saw all this in the annual report. One thing that was interesting to me is that, and I'll talk about their Amazon channel in a second, but which I thought would be bigger than this, but actually their Costco channel is bigger than their Amazon channel. So here's what it looks like at my local Costco. They also, when I walked in, they had it right here. And I don't know if you have to pay for this placement. Like when you first walk into a Costco, you see these emerging brands sort of on the left-hand side. But yeah, this is according to their annual report, 12% of the revenue comes from this. And, again, they're doing $1.32 billion in sales. 12% of that is around $150 million. So, yeah, they're driving over 150 million a year just from the Costco channel, which I found very interesting. So let's jump into the Amazon channel, which again is about 7% of their sales, so about a $90 million business. And what they're doing on their site is they are funneling people there. So if you go to their all products page, and you'll learn more, and then you click buy now, it'll take you to that Amazon detail page. And again, they're even getting pretty unique with it. So if you click on the Oasis Vibe, in this case, they're taking you to Target. Interesting. So they are sort of taking you to different retail partners, but a lot of this is going to their Amazon page. And, I wouldn't say this is like the number one driver of their Amazon business. They're organically ranking very well on Amazon. So if you just type in energy drink on Amazon, they rank number one. And you got to ignore the sponsored stuff because that's obviously a paid ad. I'm talking about organically. This is the best seller. This is sort of their 12 pack of 12. And you can see it's like they're really outperforming. I mean, again, reviews don't always correlate with sales, but for a lot of these big scale brands, it kind of is a tell. And like when you think about it, like $96,000 reviews, and all of their other, like Monster Energy, who has more market share than them, only has 12,000 reviews. Red Bull down here, 18,000, 9,000 reviews. So it's really interesting when you think about it in the category that they only have 11% of market share, but they are the number one seller on Amazon. They're the number one. They rank number one in that category of energy drink. I found another crazy statistic and I talked about it on LinkedIn, that while they rank number 3 in the category, they're accounting for 50% of that growth. And they are really attracting new buyers. And again, I think a lot of it has to do with the positioning around being fit, the positioning around and what that does to bring in like more females into the market, more gym enthusiasts into the category. And we've talked about this a lot. If you can find ways to bridge categories or bring new people into a category, it can really fuel growth for your brand and really allow you to capture market share. So yeah, that's a little bit about their Amazon business. And again, it's really interesting because they, you land on the site, you go to the collection page, you go to the product page, and then it just goes to an Amazon listing or a Target listing or some other partner. Yeah, I mean, and again, I get why they do it sometimes. Also, maybe from a fulfillment and logistical point of view, it's easier. But yeah, I mean, they are missing out on a lot of opportunities to capture zero-party data and a lot of opportunities to probably build a D2C channel. Nothing crazy about the unboxing experience. Here's the one I got from Amazon. I got like a 12-pack here, a mixed variety. There was nothing really crazy. It kind of came in this corrugated box and it was wrapped. There was really no marketing material. And again, because they didn't capture my information, I'm not getting any emails. I'm not getting any post-purchase, any surveys, any bounce back flows. In fact, the only thing that I could see email capturing going on that I could see that they're doing was this ambassador funnel, which is if you go to their site, let me pull it up in private browsing. If you go to their down here, ambassadors, I don't know why it's not working. I guess it already recognizes that I had gone through the funnel just pretending to be an ambassador. But yeah, I guess this is the digital agency that built it. It's interesting. So yeah, I mean, this is sort of what a little bit of the breakdown. I guess the corporate goes to that. They're sort of if you wanted to learn more about their investor relations. And again, I went through here and read I love it when they're a publicly traded company because they literally just talk about all these things and you can find all this crazy information about their sales and their revenue and where it's coming from. So Yeah, that's a little bit of a breakdown of this brand. I wish there was more I could break down digitally, but what is really cool is that we did have that annual report and we were able to get really granular numbers on their channels. And like I said, a majority of it is coming from this Pepsi distribution deal. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's sort of breakdown on Celsius. Stay tuned. We will have some more breakdowns, and I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks again for watching.